Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Crooked Basement. I'm Ziggy Vans. You've seen me, you loved me before. I am the voice of all things upper hand wrestling. You may have noticed that we did not have a standard episode this week. That is very simply because the championship committee decided to convene and look at the league as a whole and what we're going to do going forward. With that said, I have some special announcements for not just episode 4, but all of UHW going forward. They have decided that we will no longer be having an international team division. Instead, we will be the first wrestling promotion to ever have 3, that's right, you heard it, 3 solo divisions, separate but equal. That means we are going to have your UHW Championship Division, your standard wrestling fare you've come to know and love from not just UHW, but all the wrestling around the world. We will have the True Wrestling Division. You've seen it, you love it. The hardcore in-ring mat wrestlers taking each other on in the timed matches. That special division will continue, but a third division will be added. That division will be the Super Division. That's right. The legendary Super Division will make its return here on UHW. What is the Super Division? It is a much more hardcore, much more brutal place. Weapons are allowed as long as no malicious intent is meant, meaning a wrestler cannot swing a weapon or use a weapon directly on their opponent, but if you want to chokeslam them through a table, that's totally fine. No countouts. Any other incidental contact is allowed. Full leniency from refs to wrestlers. That is what the Super Division is all about. How are we going to decide, though, the Super Division, the first champion? Well, on our next show, we will have a main event, triple threat match, to decide the UHW first ever Super Division champion. It will be the current holding, reigning international team champions, the Boston Brawler, the other half of the Misfits, Mr. Indestructible. They will relinquish their title to get a shot at the Super Division belt, and they will be joined by the only other man who's been in any sort of brutal stipulation match so far this season, and that is the CEO, Chad Rover himself, coming off a big cage match win. That will be a triple threat match, and it's not going to be any ordinary match. Not for the Super Division. We are instead going to decide that thing in a tables, ladders, and chairs match, the first ever on UHW programming. But we're not down there, ladies and gentlemen. That will set the final pillar so that we can build the house that is UHW. From there, the week after that, show 5, we will have a draft, a UHW Divisional Draft. The wrestlers will be divided up into the Championship Division, the True Wrestling Division, as well as the Super Division. The first match at that show will be the Champion of Champions match, a triple threat match involving all 3 champions, with the winner and the Winners Championship Division getting first draft pick on all of the wrestlers in the league. Huge implications. We're also going to have one other triple threat match at that show. And that is right. It will be to decide, the winner gets to decide what division they want to go to. Huge implications from here on out. And then each wrestler in each of their divisions will not only compete inside their division against other wrestlers in that division for their own title shot, but they will also compete against wrestlers outside the division for draft picks, for supremacy, for other rights and rewards for that division going forward in the league. So we've got exciting things here at UHW lined up. And this upcoming week, show 4 will start off, and it will start off big. Because I'm going to go ahead and let you know ahead of time the match card for show 4. First, Sam the Salamander Watts we'll go one-on-one with Ali Shanks after some interesting developments that were not shown on show 2. Then we've got a double header for you. We're going to have Max Default taking on 3J Jenny James of the Runaways. We will also have El Blanco Bull taking on Elmo Kincaid. That's right, the legendary team is going to stick it out and see how they fare in the singles competition. Then Raymond Van Zant, coming off a loss in the cage, will look to get a little redemption as he goes one-on-one with the UHW Championship Division champion, and that is Doc Holliday, in what is sure to be a brutal fight. And then finally, we have that huge main event that I already told you about, the Super Division title. First ever will be on the line. Boston Brawler, Mr. Indestructible, and of course Chad Rover will attempt to climb that ladder and be the first person to win that belt. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next week with the first episode of Show 4. Sam the Salamander Watts versus Ali Shanks non-title match. Can't wait to come back and see that. And I can't wait to see you all here on UHW Wrestling. I'm Ziggy Vans. I'll catch you next week.